Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this video, I'm going to take a look at the new Colossals from Voyage to the Sunken City. Which Colossals are the best, which ones are worth crafting, under what circumstances would you consider crafting one of these powerful legendary cards, or are they even powerful? Well, let's take a look at all of them in order from worst to best, and starting from the Demon Hunter Colossal Silag of the Abyss, an absolutely worthless card that is such a piece of junk that you should never ever touch this with the 10-foot pole. Yeah, like, in theory, it summons a bunch of these stalks that deal 1 random damage to a random enemy at the start, and then so it's 4 damage when it's summoned to random targets. So in practice, when you play Silag, either Silag or the stalks or both are immediately going to be killed, and they will never do anything. Yeah, that's a good one. So don't craft that one. But what about the others? The Priest Colossal, Blackwater Behemoth. 8 mana 8/10, summons a lure. Lure forces a random enemy minion to attack into the Blackwater Behemoth. So you kind of get 8 healing and you eliminate a random enemy minion, maybe, unless it has more than 8 health, then you don't. Then you just eliminate your Behemoth. It's an 8-cost card. It could go into Quest Priest, I guess, although the hero card is also 8-cost, but if you need to have a couple of 8-cost cards, is this better than a Moag? No, it's not better than a Moag, because Moag has a death rattle, this one does not, so it synergizes with the hero card that you're going to be playing anyway, so there's just no reason to play this in any deck, so don't craft this one. And then at number 8 we have the Warlock Colossal Gigafin. Devour all enemy minions, Death Rattle spit them back out, but it does summon a taunt minion for you, and if the taunt minion dies first, then everything in Gigafin is destroyed, and they won't be spat back out, so Gigafin is actually a decent card. This is actually a playable legendary card that could go into multiple Warlock decks. It even goes into Murloc Warlock. Yeah, it's pretty good there actually as a curve topper. It's a Murloc, it has some synergies in the deck, and just getting rid of all those enemy minions, allowing your Murlocs to go face. That's a powerful asset. The downsides are that Murloc Warlock is terrible, it's below 50%. Conjure Warlock is even worse, we're talking 30% if you get a little lucky. So Gigafin is a playable card for a class that has no playable decks. So that's kind of a problem, and that's why you should not craft Gigafin. Then at number 7 we have Shaman's Gluck the Gulper. Colossal +3, it summons 3 2/2 taunt minions, and after a friendly minion dies, gain its original stats, so if someone kills those taunt minions, then Gluck is going to grow. Gluck has very few situational uses. It sees play in a couple of semi-playable decks, but not in the main decks. So while Gluck isn't completely awful, it's still pretty bad and should not be crafted. What about the 6th best Colossal? The 6th best Colossal is Kolak, the Druid Colossal, which summons a 0/8 taunt minion for you, and that taunt minion also gives you 8 armor as a death rattle. So a fairly decent defensive card, not seeing play in any of the main Druid decks at the moment, but there's no real reason why this could not be played in Ramp Druid. As a matter of fact, I played this in Ramp Druid. I had a pretty good time playing this in Ramp Druid, but you probably don't really need it. Like, you can put this in Ramp Druid. Hey, if you want to have fun with Ramp Druid, is that like a concept? Does it work like that? Can you have fun with Ramp Druid? Maybe you can. I mean, I have fun when I win, and yeah, so you can play this card, but there's no real reason to craft it, but there's no real reason not to craft it either if you have loads of dust and nothing else to do and you want to just play with it, so okay, maybe. And the 5th best Colossal is the Hunter Colossal Hydralodon. Colossal +2 Battlecry give you Hydralodon heads rush. So Hydralodon heads, they're going to start rushing in. Every time a head dies, 2 more heads pop out, but the rush is Battlecry. So once you pop in your first heads, then the others will just sit there doing nothing. It is a beast, so if you want to play some of these fancy big beast stuff decks, then yeah, this is not a bad card in those decks. The archetype is not viable, it's below 50%, so yeah, it's also like a card that doesn't go into a playable deck as such, but On the other hand, those decks are like almost there. Maybe someone can somehow find a way to make them playable. And Hydra is not a bad card in that archetype, so a conditional, most likely you shouldn't, but maybe you just want to craft it, I mean. But as we reach top 4 Colossals, we finally come to the state of the art. The Mage Colossal, Gaia the Tectonic. Colossal +2 after a friendly mech attacks, deal 1 damage to all enemies, summons a pair of rush mechs. This is a good card. It goes into all sorts of mech mage decks. Mech mage is a pretty decent deck, probably going down slowly but surely, but should be somewhat playable throughout the expansion. Unlikely to be hit by nerfs because it's not that great. And it's an improvement to that deck. The downside, it only goes into that one deck. If you don't put this in Mech Mage, then there's nowhere else that you can put it in. It really, really wants more mechs to support it. But okay, Mech Mage, fine card, fine deck. Little one-dimensional, but potentially craftable. And then the third best Colossal, the Paladin Colossal, the Leviathan. Rush Divine Shield after its attacks, dredge, and the ad that it summons after that attacks, draw a card. So this actually goes into multiple Paladin decks. Of course this goes into Mech Paladin, but you can also play with this in Control Paladin. You can play with this in like Reno Paladin. Reno Paladin isn't great, but it's the best Reno deck you can play. And Leviathan, even though it's a mech, it doesn't require mechs. This is an independent card. It can go into a deck that runs no other mechs whatsoever. Any kind of paladin that is slow enough to want to play 7 mana to summon 2/4 attack Divine Shield Rushers and use them to draw some specific cards is going to be interested in this one. So this one is going to see a lot of play in a wide variety of paladin decks. And similar considerations apply to number 2, Grabatoa. This goes into, don't you just put this in every rogue deck? Colossal +2, it summons 2 Grabatoa Claws, which are 2/1s with Rush, and when they die they give you a 2/1 weapon, but it also has an effect that your Grabatoa Claws have +2 attack, so you have 2 4/1 Rushers, you rush one in, you get a 4/1 weapon, you hit with that, you rush the other one in, you get another 4/1 weapon for next turn. Unless this dies, then it's just a 2/1 weapon. And yeah, it's a pretty decent card. It helps you contest the board, it helps you come back into the game, it gives you some sweet tempo. 6 mana, that's not too expensive. You can put this in a wide variety of rogue decks, so this is one of the most independent Colossals. It just goes everywhere, and it is in pretty much every rogue deck, and it's doing fine, so definitely worth crafting if you like playing rogue. But the number 1 Colossal, it has got to be Nelly the Great Treasure. Currently the best performing Colossal out of them all, thanks to being in Pirate Warrior. Pirate Warrior may be nerfed, and if Pirate Warrior is nerfed, it's unlikely that Nelly is going to be nerfed, so no refunds. You're not going to get your dust back. They're going to nerf Pirate Warrior, and your Nelly will just be a sad panda. But that's not all there is to it, because Nelly can also be played in Control Warrior. Battlecry, discover 3 pirates to crew Nelly's ship. Nelly's ship is a 2/6 taunt minion. Once it dies, it gives you those 3 pirates and they will all cost 1. You also have a good chance to pick up Mr. Smite from that. Well, Mr. Smite could also be nerfed, but even if Mr. Smite is nerfed, and even if Pirate Warrior is nerfed, you can still play Nelly in Control Warrior, because just getting 3 1-mana pirates, even if Smite gets nerfed, that should still be a pretty good deal for Control Warrior, and getting the taunt minion. So Nelly has a lot of uses, even outside of that Pirate Warrior deck, and that makes Nelly currently the most craftable of the Colossals. So overall, there are 4 Colossals that look like they are going to see a lot of play throughout the expansion, and there's a couple of Colossals that may have some chance if right decks are found for those. And then there's Gigafin, which probably is going to see play at some point, but it's unlikely to happen in the next 4 months, maybe after that. So yeah, if you're wondering which Colossals are doing well, then these are the rankings of the 10 Colossals. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and check out my Twitch channel.